Over to you.
Known as Shelley Brown, a convener of Women's League National. About Women's League is Comrade Secretary. Ngiyabulisa nonke ngehlalo zenu ndawe nomama. Ngiyabulisa. Hayi siyakuthanda ukezwa bathi asithandi. Siyakuthanda. Yilaba abafuna the rules and aspirations of the majority is lawless. Of the majority must be precise by the majority.
Let's please allow Comrade Shelley Brown to make the point that she's going to make. Let's please allow her to ask the question, and then we will be able to clarify. Let's please settle down so that she can ask the question. Comrade Shelley.
No,
There is a code that says any member that disrupts any meeting of MK will be dealt with. This is the disruption of a meeting of MK Band. So are we saying, national officials, are you going to allow this situation to go on? The question that I want to ask TSG is that, yes, I'm going to the question. The question, TSG, is also based on discipline. I am really allocating 2 minutes for each and every one of you. And please address the question. Address the question. Address the question. I'm going to take the mic. My question is also based on discipline always. I need to understand always. And please address the meeting, not the table. My question, comrades, is that on the Constitution, it speaks about code of conduct and the discipline area. Can I get clarity from the officials as to where do we report, who do we write to, where do we give evidence to, because on matters of indiscipline of any member of MK Band. Thank you very much. Can you give it to the next one?
From Eberlin, not sub-reaching Temesa 100. First of all, SG, and I'm glad Commander Wolf is here and the members of Parliament. In section 3 of M3, I think it's paragraph number 10, it's page 11. On paragraph 10, it says to fight for the interest and the right and aspiration of workers. I'm raising this because workers in South Africa are suffering. There's section 189 of LRA in South Africa, which allows companies to retrench, and it doesn't specify on what grounds. And the companies, they start retrenching people because they didn't meet their target, not because they're suffering from financial losses, just because the shareholders, they didn't meet the goal they make. I wish we can challenge that to specify the rationality of retrenchment in South Africa, because we cannot allow companies to retrench as they wish. I wish the members of Parliament can challenge that in Parliament. The second one is also on labor. There's people who are called temporary employment services, which are labor brokers in South Africa. And the LRA have a provision that says those people, after 3 months, their provision as the employees of the company. But it doesn't specifically say they must be taken from labor brokers to be permanent to that company they're providing services from. And that makes people stay as labor brokers for many years. I just wish MK can challenge that also to make it a part of LRA that says a company, if there's a work and the labor broker is there for 3 months, they must be taken permanent to that company and do away with the labor broker. And the last one is SG, which is the third one, is the last one, the third one. And SG, you said that you do not want to deal with the self-entitled royal houses. And now, preemptively, it says we need to tell us people of South Africa, continent, and people of Africa all over the world, share this common scars of slavery. I must say this, in South Africa we still have ethnic groups which we call tribes, who still live under the scars of apartheid, whereas their true identity is still not being met. For instance, an example which our Malmabedi, who also identifies the Malmabedi, and
the National Organization of Women's League. We would like to know if a parliamentary member can still stand as a national leader of Women's League. And also, when it comes to the coordinator, who is going to replace our current king, what is the directive? I think.
Thank you very much, Tim, FC, members of the High Command are here, provincial leadership, and more importantly, the comrades at large who are sitting here and patiently listening to this presentation. Viva Tino, viva! I'm not going to be long. I'm going to just to re-emphasize one of the issues that was raised by the FG. In our discipline, it goes together with the Constitution. And in our institution and membership, the reason why the SG made all of us to read that declaration is because that is the beginning of your membership of MP. If you don't respect that, let's almost to be members, then what's the point of having an organization? Secondly, the organization by its nature means that we have different views on it. But as an organization, we try over time, we solidify perspective and vision on it. Because if all of us were thinking the same, then there's no point of having an organization. The mere fact of an organization, especially an organization like this, is that it gives us an exciting stage. All the organizations in the island is not for 100 years ago. There's nothing you can do. Take our privilege. We're the first members of this organization. So we're the chance to build the foundation. Other generations are going to come, they have changed, but if we mess up the foundation, what are they going to build on? So we need to be patient, we need to tolerate each other. We come from different cultures, different organizational backgrounds, and so on. And we are trying to build something new. In culture, it's not instant coffee, and everything right. We need your patience, that's what I'm appealing to. But more importantly, we need discipline. Discipline is a very difficult thing because sometimes you can think as what you are saying that Miriam is right, I know this thing, then I ate the food. But if the house is feeling good, let's go this way. You need to meet the house where it is. Now imagine if the whole country has a particular view when there's only one on the right hand and the one. Okay, now the reason why Umsholozi had this idea of forming this organization was because, as you are saying, we realized that as a people we are getting lost, we are taking a particular direction. And for us to go back to where we are supposed to go, we can't just individually feel that we must go a particular way. We need an instrument, a vehicle, in order that we can use towards that direction, like I said. So, the second point I want to make is that this constitution is a living document. So again, nobody must want to cut their wrist or within a something in this constitution. This is a democratic organization where we start somewhere. Right? That is why the president of the organization said we are going to have, even though we are not rushing to have elective conferences, but we are going to have consultative conferences. Now, a consultative conference is more important than an elective conference. Because, you know, those of us who are participating in the ANC and other organizations, you know that you saw Nazareth 1, Nazareth 2. People go there, they are supposed to be debating policies. What do they do? It's all about leadership. Who's going to be in what position and what for 5 days. We don't want anybody to go that direction. Because as people must learn from the mistakes that have been made in other organizations. So when we talk about consultative conferences, those are going to be forums of serious discussion, very serious discussion about where are we going as a country, as a continent, as black people, as the left, as progressive forces. And one day, I don't know when, we will come from such a consultative conference and say, okay, this is how we should do things. So, whether you do one, patience. patience and revolutionary patience and discipline. Without those things, we are not going to go anywhere. So I want to hide this one, there's no individual among all of us who is more important than the organization. All right, let me come to the specific questions. Okay, so let me take some of the questions and the LC will also take some of them, particularly those that relate to his inputs. There's this issue that seems to be troubling people about appointments. The power to appoint comes directly from what we call democratic centralism. Democratic centralism is a method that is used in revolutions, which means the decision on the higher structure is binding on lower structures. It's very simple. I thought this, it's not something complicated. Why is that done? It is done, remember, even in the command theory comes from the army. So if you are running an army and you say we're going to attack at 12 o'clock, right? There are structures, there's a commander or a command structure that decides which we are going to strike at 12 o'clock. They have assessed the weaknesses of the enemy, they have looked at all the issues that need to be looked at. And then on the day of the attack, it starts to rain or something that was not planned. Then we must rely on those people who have been entrusted with those decision-making powers to say, but we're not going to strike today. Or, no, we're going to take a tool now because of this particular. That decision might be wrong or it might be right. But the point is that we can't say only the guys in the 10 o'clock, or maybe that is 11, and not say I'm half 11. Because if you do that, you are going to be defeated. So it's that kind of thing which, when we talk about command is that means it's police, it's a command. Right? In the old MK of the 60s, the army, the underground one, which had no democracy by the way. The democracy was there in the other organization. But in one way, it was natural rules of the issue law. You comply and you ask later. Now this is not an army, this is not the old MK of 1961. So we have to mix these things. We have to mix democracy plus the command. And it will happen over time that at some stage those two things will meet together. It's not an easy thing. And it has not been done before in any other organization. So we're trying new concepts because of the mistakes that we have learned from the other organization. So, when we say the High National High Command is going to appoint structures, or even the president, remember the president, I hear people saying, hey, we went for the elections, what? This is a new organization. Everybody went for the elections. And I'm not going to work more than any other person. We are all the same. We are members the same of the same state. Otherwise, who President Zuma can say, I'm the one who formed the organization. If President Zuma is prepared to subject himself to this constitution, himself, the person who thought out this whole idea, he is prepared to subject himself to the constitution. See, that's how compromise on some of the issues. So if he can compromise, he is number one who want to try the constitution. So that is how it's going to work on this. So the National High Command will appoint all the structures of this organization. And to come to the question that was being asked by Comrade Chili, you can't answer that question. It's not about beating out and so on. All that is going to be decided by the National High Command. What does that mean? So what it means is very simple. If there's a structure out there, and I don't know, let's say there were 10 people. Let's say there were 10 people in that structure. And the National Command says, now we want a top 8 or whatever. The National Command has the right to say, we're going to have 8 new people. Or let us say, no, there are 2 comrades or 3 comrades who are useful, so we'll only exile. So we'll but we can't tell the National Command how to approach that question. How they approach it in Laurel, how they approach it in Mpumalanga might be different. So the work in Mpumalanga, they might be different dynamics and they approach it differently. But the bottom line, we are guided by the Constitution. We say the National High Command shall appoint. Right. Then the next issue is about dual leadership. Again, this is not something the Constitution is not about individuals. So you can't say, hey, I cannot go to Parliament and at the same time I'm sitting in the National High Command, shoot the high and fight against me. It's not about you. There is a reason why you want a Parliament and at the same time you leadership. Because this is a new organization. We want people to work on the Then the other thing, comrades, is the following. And I don't want to be blunt, but I want to put it bluntly. This is a democratic country, right? So there are many political organizations and it. So if you take this thing, you must take it whole and read it properly. We put the art in it. I like this thing, I hotel, but I don't agree with any of these things. Please, tell me how we are going to The reason why we have those people in Parliament is because those people in Parliament represent us. And Parliament the laws on retrenchment in particular are very reactionary in South Africa. So, which means now what we must do, through the SG, through our fractures, we make sure whoever in Parliament is in the Labour portfolio committee is so any organization that has the ability to take what your proposals through the organization so that they find themselves in Parliament. And then the organization responds like that, so that person can go to Parliament and say, no, we want the president to change. And because we don't have the numbers, they say, we don't care about MKC. Then as a man, then we say, we're matching to the Labour department and so on. So that's how organization works. So we combine the power that we have in Parliament. Sometimes we go to court, sometimes we go to the street, sometimes we do everything. So that we work as one system. That is what we mean by an organization. So that's the second part. But before we can advance on, I just want to say the following thing. You must, I'm glad this presentation that SG was being recorded. Then we must go and listen carefully about what we're trying to do here. The SG spoke about total liberation, total freedom. When we go to our own structures, let's try and understand what that means. What does it mean? And I was saying to somebody, total means total. Zone, everything. So there are, in our history, there were many organizations that fought for the different stages. So there were people who fought military wars for centuries. Then there was the ANC, the SCSA, which basically was fighting for political freedom, right? Then there was an organization such as, for example, the EFF that emphasized economic freedom, right? All those things are important. But when we now reach a stage where we are saying, as a people, we want total freedom. So that's our ideological standpoint. Cultural, social, knowledge, ideological, economic, or freedom. That's the one that we will reach that stage. That's what the opinion is here to bring. And we must be able to internalize that. But we will never do any of that if we don't unite this organization first and unite our people. When we say we unite black people, we're not saying just about skin color. It's about uniting black people because the black people are the most oppressed black people in this country. When we say we unite women, we are not just uniting women because they are women biologically. It is because women, as a class and as a gender, face particular issues, and we have